Welcome to my channel Learning Electronic Circuits. Today I am going to talk about the breadboard. We'll look at what is meant by breadboard, the various uses of it, the different parts of a breadboard, and the advantages and the disadvantages of using a breadboard. A breadboard is a wiring platform to connect wires and components in an electronic circuit. It is used for prototyping circuits before being permanently soldered into a circuit board, and for testing and experimenting with different electronic circuits before being implemented. In earlier days, a wooden board that resembled a breadboard on which the bread was sliced was used, on which the copper wires and strips were attached and electronic components were soldered onto them. Parts of a breadboard. The breadboard consists of a plastic board in which small clips and interconnected strips are attached. The wires and component leads are inserted into these clips, which are joined together by wire segments called interconnected strips. The spacing between the clips is usually 2.54 millimeters. The clips and the interconnected strips can hold a current of 1 ampere to pass through. The plastic board has perforations through which the leads of the components are inserted. The two types of interconnected strips are one terminal strip and two bus strip. The terminal strip connects most of the components on the breadboard. There is a notch between the two adjacent rows of terminal connectors, which is called as a center line notch. This notch separates the interconnected strips on both sides, left and right. It helps with air circulation when dual inline package ICs are connected. The 5 columns on the left of the notch are identified as A, B, C, D and E from left to right. The 5 columns on the right of the notch are named as F, G, H, I and J. The rows of the breadboard are identified by the numbers from 1 to as many as 17, 30, 64 or more rows depending on the type of breadboard, such as mini, half or full types respectively. The bus strip, usually 2 or more on each long side of the board, provides connection for supply voltage and for the ground. The bus strips on both sides of the board are not connected and thus need to be connected externally by jumper connections. In some full breadboards, the bus strips are broken in the middle. Sometimes the power rails are marked as red, blue or black for identification. The voltage rail is marked as red and the ground rail as blue or black. Advantages of using a breadboard. 1. The breadboard can be reused once a circuit under test or experiment is dismantled. 2. It is easy to test a circuit and can be used for prototyping a range of electronic circuits, including analog, digital, microcontrollers, etc. 3. If a single breadboard cannot accommodate circuits, other breadboards can be attached to the main board to extend the functionality. The edges of the board have attachment structures such as the dovetail notches on which several boards can be attached to form a large board. 4. There are certain breadboards that are available in the market which have a platform on which binding posts are attached. The binding post helps to connect multiple power sources to it. It may also have certain functionalities such as the signal generators, LED displays, logic probes, etc. built into the breadboard. 5. Breadboards are also incorporated in devices such as microcontrollers, evaluation boards, etc. Disadvantages of breadboard. The breadboard does have certain limitations and they are as follows. 1. It has high parasitic capacitance of around 2 pF between the adjacent terminal strips. 2. It has parasitic inductance along the length of the strips. 3. It has high contact resistance between the strips and the leads of the components. The resistance increases with time. 4. The breadboard operates in low frequencies and frequencies up to 10 MHz, and so operation above 10 MHz is limited. 5. Circuits that need high current and high voltage cannot be tested in breadboards. 6. Very complex and extremely large circuits cannot be made on breadboards. 7. Solderless breadboards cannot be used for surface-mount devices. 8. It is difficult to attach components on the breadboard if they do not have a standard pin arrangement or match the layout of holes on the breadboard. 9. Due to ease of disconnection, it has a chance of disturbing the connections and the connections becoming unreliable. This is a breadboard, and we are going to see how to wire a simple LED circuit. This is the battery, the power supply, the LED here, and also got the resistors and some wires. Jumper wires. These are connecting wires. You wired the circuit. It's a simple LED circuit. It's a simple LED circuit. You just connect the power terminals. You see the LED is lighted up. You can see the LED has lit. This is how you can wire simple circuits on a breadboard.